I want to welcome everyone back. Thank you so much for being here for day 4 of Play Week. We are really getting down to releasing some of that guilt that we have about play, reframing some of the things in our lives. I think there's just so much good that can come from changing your focus sometimes from the big, huge things that we think we need to do for self-care and looking at how we can incorporate it into our life. By knowing ourselves a little bit better, we can figure out what is energizing. And so we talked about the things that light us up, that reconnect us with our play personality, noticing those micro moments and ways that we can reframe. I love that even things that you would think were already a little bit fun, we can even make more fun. Kathleen, I really loved your bread example. Just taking a minute to be a little bit more playful in whatever you're doing, even though that was a thing that you probably, I'm guessing, enjoy anyways, baking bread. And it's something that we can incorporate as we know our clients more too, even though we're probably planning play-based therapy activities. If you work with kids, it may be interesting to think about their play personalities, and you don't have to ask them, but you can just look at the things that do make them happy and incorporate that. Somebody gave an example of using, I think it was Jenna. Yeah, she made like a game board for her kids in the morning. And I was just thinking, as somebody who that is not my play personality, that would really stress me out in the morning. But you said that it really helped encourage and motivate your kids to do their morning routine. So that's such a good example. I think knowing your play personality is one thing, but then knowing which ones aren't for you is another thing. Similar to me looking up at my sister on that net, I just knew that wasn't for me. And I think knowing these things is so important. And it's so great when both your kids have the same play personality or the kids in a group, if you're doing group therapy. That is such a great thing. Okay. So today I'm going to share with you what I am calling a play menu. So I am going to share my screen. One of the things that I hear often, and one of the things that even in some of the conversations in the group posts, really, it's almost easier, right, for us to think of play or self-care in the really big ways, like the boulders. Maybe you have something that you're looking forward to, like a weekend away, or even the act of carving out some time on your calendar to go get a pedicure or to go for a walk with friends. Those are things that we can put into our calendar. But how can we remind our nervous system of that joy and creativity and curiosity in these small moments? And we really did talk about noticing them and shifting what we're already doing. Something that I have found really helpful is the idea of a play menu. And if you think about a menu when you go out to dinner, you have different sections. So if we can break our thinking of this through an appetizer, so maybe the quick and playful resets. I'm going to help you think about some of those things. And then you can put your main courses, really intentional, engaging activities. Maybe they take a little bit longer, but not too long. But they're things that you can incorporate into your day to day. So then we would have side dishes on there. Those I think about as little ways that we can enhance our environment. So maybe a sensory or environmental thing. So maybe lighting a candle when you do your notes, like having a specific candle or something like that. And then we could have our desserts on there. So comfort and entertainment. And so this is where you could put your scrolling TikTok if you want to. Put that on there, and we're just going to be really intentional when we talk through those. And then we have our like specials that you might do those bigger intentional experiences. So I will be sharing this document with you. So it goes through each area, and I tried to include some different activity ideas. in here for you. But I find this really helpful, and you don't have to do anything fancy with how you think of these things. Like there is a template at the end of the PDF, but you also can just start a Google Doc and have a running list. And one thing that does help me, especially right now, is using ChatGPT kind of like my thought partner in these things. So the two ways that I could share this with you, and I'm probably will do both, but what I shared the first day was a custom GPT, and that is where I trained it and told it all the things, and then it helped you come to your play personality. I could basically teach that same GPT to help you brainstorm ideas for your list, which I'll probably do anyways. But the other option is where I could share a prompt for you to tell your ChatGPT to act as a guide, helping you to design your play menu. And you could give it the information about these things, and then it could help you through it. So either one, I never know what people prefer. So I think I'm just going to do both. Would anybody be willing to share their play personality in the chat, and we can see what ChatGPT or what the custom GPT brings us? Okay, let's do Helen's. So let me share my screen again. Awesome. Look at that. Okay, so we're gonna put this prompt into the bot. It may make it glitch, but I think this is the best for right now. So let's say, oh, well, we're just gonna give it to it because it should ask us. Okay, so it says before we start, let's find your flavor of play, your play personality. If you already know it, you can tell me. If not, here's a quick peek at all 8 types. Just pick the one that feels most like you or the one you wish you could be right now. Which type sounds like your type of play right now? Okay, so we're gonna say, I just copy and paste it because it's easier. Beautiful choice. Explorers like you are fueled by curiosity. You feel most alive when you're discovering something new, whether that's a trail, a cafe, a creative idea, or even a way of seeing an old problem. Your play often feels like wonder in motion. That's lovely. Let's design your play menu tailored to that explorer spirit. Think of it like an evolving menu. We'll move towards through the 5 sections. I'll invite you to brainstorm 1 to 3 ideas for each one. So this is why I love working with ChatGPT, because it's going to help you, but it's going to give you ideas that are like you and what it knows about this topic. And then you can say, that doesn't sound good, or it does. So it says a 10-minute wander without your phone, listening to a song you've never heard before, scrolling Google Maps, and traveling somewhere new. That does not feel like an appetizer, ChatGPT. Oh, I guess you would just travel with your Google Maps. I'm going to say those, I guess actually, let me ask you, Helen, because I also just realized I'm not really an explorer, so that's why those things don't feel good to me. Do any of those feel kind of good?
Oh, I love putting the Google Map on and switching it to like the camera so I can see the places. So it was very accurate there.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to say, I think these sound great. I'm going to just say exactly what you just said. I love putting my camera on, and I love putting Google Maps camera on and exploring. So that is very accurate for me. Helen, by the end of this, you might have a menu. The Google Maps, camera travel habit, such a pure explorer move, virtual walk. Oh, I even love how it said that. Virtual walks on Google Maps. Would you like to add 1 or 2 more? No, those 3 you said were great for appetizers. I like that you called it a virtual walk. Okay, so now we're going to go on to main courses. These are the experiences that really let your explorer heart roam. So, wandering a new part of town with no set plan, taking a class or a workshop just because it sparks curiosity, or starting a micro exploration project like learning about one city, culture, or topic each month. Helen, do you want to tell me how those sound?
Those are not accurate. So
Okay,
they're too vague for me. So a new recipe book from the library and losing myself in that with a cup of tea.
I love
Um,
that.
a ride on my Peloton bike.
Your recipe book
Yeah.
from the library. Let's give him those. Peloton bike would be closer to what I like. Give me a few more ideas. Try a cook the world theme. These feel larger, ChatGPT, than just queue up a Peloton ride that focuses on a country or decade you love. Listen to a travel podcast or documentary while folding laundry or stretching. What do you think, Helen? Any of these?
Yeah, and the multitasking while doing laundry, that sounds a great plan, right? To add a little sparkle.
I love that. So take yourself on a curiosity walk, choose a direction, and see what you discover. Let's put these, let's see. So now we have three ideas for this. We're going to go with this. These three are great. Let's move to the next section of the menu. Okay, our side dishes. So little enhancements for your environment. Some ideas are diffusing a new essential oil blend inspired by a place you love, rotating art photos or small objects that remind you of places you've explored, playing world music, ambient soundscapes, or nature sounds while you work or cook, setting a discovery corner at home, a tiny spot with travel books, postcards, and maps. What do you think, Helen?
Some of these are pretty accurate. I was lucky enough to take a trip during the summer and I've left the guidebook where I do my makeup. So each
Ah,
morning I'm taken back and can look at just the cover of the guidebook is enough.
that's
And
great.
where we stayed, she had plants on the tables outside because it was warmer than Wisconsin. And so I've put plants on my tables outside on our patio area just to recreate that vibe. So this one's really accurate.
Okay, I'm just going to say these are great. So we are getting close to the end of time. So this is what I'm going to do. We'll do this last one, and then I'm going to ask it to just summarize what we've decided so far. And then I'll post this with the call recording so that you all can see it. And then I'll give you the ChatGPT prompt as well. Here are a few explorer-inspired dessert ideas. Watching a travel or nature documentary, listening to an international music playlist, reading short travel essays, memoirs, or scrolling Street View before bed, browsing a global recipe or photography blog for fun, or playing an exploration style video game.
Not quite there at the moment, but maybe great stretch points for me to expand my explorer.
Right. And when I think about desserts, I think about really, they're probably the thing that you don't need a ton of, right? But it's always good to have it. And so that's where, for me, as a combination of collector and creative, I think we all can, and we're going to anyway, so we might as well name it. You may end up scrolling, right? But if you do it with intention and you name it, I have on my desserts just 15 minutes of scrolling. And there are oftentimes it turns into way longer than 15 minutes because that's where we are these days. But I think just naming it and being intentional about it and knowing that that fits in the dessert category, and I have other choices, right? So I'm just going to say, can you please summarize my menu so far so I can put it in a Google Doc to have to refer to? Here's what we have so far. And then this is so great because we can take this, we can put it here in a Google Doc, and I'm going to share this with you. And you can have it for when you are feeling like you want to choose something. But I think splitting it up into these categories for me is so helpful because you take the time and you put your thoughts into it ahead of time. And then you're able to refer to that and take away the need to make a decision in the moment. So I hope that's helpful. I'm going to share all of this with you. The prompt that I put into ChatGPT, I'll share Helen's example menu if that spoke to anyone. And also a list if you want to do your own brainstorming without thinking with ChatGPT, because this is possible to do on your own as well. All right. I just want you all to know every day when I speak for 30 minutes, I think to myself, I'm shocked I was done in 30 minutes. Kathy said, wonder in motion is definitely something I love. I'm holding on to that phrase and excited to build a menu. Good. Okay. Well, this has been fun. I will drop all of these resources into the group, and I'm just so thankful for you. And as you build your menus, I would love if you share any sections or anything that feels good, because I think that brainstorming might be helpful to everyone. So, all right. Have a great day, everyone.